Hello everybody and welcome back to Watch World, and today we are going to be looking at a new line of chronographs that have just been released by Breitling earlier today. So guys, I hope you're all keeping well and safe. Before we start today's video, quick wristwatch check. Today I am wearing my Pagani design sport chronograph. This is obviously a Daytona homage. I did have a two-tone white dial version which I reviewed on this channel before. I actually sold that and bought this one instead. I don't know if that's going to focus. This is the black dial with the silver subdials. Yeah, actually, I didn't like this one at first, but it kind of grew on me. So I bought it and tried it out, and now I absolutely love it. So yeah, today's wristwatch check done. So just earlier today, Breitling announced a new line of Premier Heritage Chronographs. They're not available just yet. They said in their webcast that they will be available by the end of this month. So all in all, they have released 3 new chronographs in 6 different variants. So there is 2 color variants for each watch. And the first is Breitling's B09 Chronograph 40. So this is what Breitling are calling the pistachio green variant. It is in remembrance of Breitling being the inventors of the modern chronograph. This watch comes in at 40mm in case diameter. As you can see, it has 2 subdials on the dial, and it beats at 28,800 beats per hour and has 28 joules. This has Breitling's caliber B09. It is a hand wind movement and gives the watch a power reserve of 70 hours. It also has a 30-minute chronograph recorder, and like all the other movements that we're going to look at in today's episode, it is COSC certified. The watch case is made of stainless steel. It has 100 meters of water resistance, has sapphire crystal in front of that dial, but it has no screw-down crown. The watch has a thickness of 13mm, which I think is really good for a manual chronograph. It has a lug-to-lug of 47.6mm and a lug width of 20mm. So all in all, the dimensions on this watch I think are very good and will suit most people's wrists. The strap is made of alligator leather and tapers from 20mm ever so slightly down to 18mm and has a folding clasp at the end. This watch is also available in what Breitling are calling 18 karat red gold, and this version comes with a silver dial, as we can see in the picture here. So the next watch that Breitling have released is the Premier B15 Duograph 42. The term duograph was first coined by Breitling in the 1940s and is in reference to the watch having 2 chronograph hands. Its function is to measure 2 elapsed times at once, intermediate and split time, which it shows via the 2 hands on the central chronograph. Like the B09, it has a 30-minute chronograph subdial at the 3 o'clock position, and the 9 o'clock subdial is the running seconds. In terms of specs, this watch is a bit bigger and a bit chunkier than the B09. This has a 42mm case diameter, 50mm in terms of lug to lug, and it is 15.3mm in thickness. Now it has a inner lug width of 22mm and the strap again tapers down to 18mm. So this is an all-round bigger watch, probably due to the 2 seconds that the chronograph has. And especially the thickness, I think 15.3mm would be very chunky on most people's wrists. So this watch I think will definitely be suited to people who have bigger wrists. This has Breitling's B15 caliber, which is very similar to the B09 caliber that we just looked at in terms of it also having 70 hours of power reserve. It also beats at a rate of 28,800 beats per hour, and it has 27 joules as opposed to the B09, which had 28 joules. Again, this watch is on an alligator leather strap with a folding clasp. The one I've been showing here is the 18 karat red gold version with the black dial, but it is also available in stainless steel with a blue dial. And last but certainly not least, we have the Premier B25 Datora 42. This is my personal favourite of the three watches that Breitling have just released, and it features not only the chronograph, but it also has a moon phase function and a complete calendar. So just under the 12 o'clock marker, this watch has two windows showing the day and month. And then just above the 6 o'clock marker, we have a third subdial, which shows the date, and it also contains the moon phase function. And then again, like the other two, we have the 30-minute chronograph timer at the 3 o'clock position, and the running seconds subdial at the 9 o'clock. The watch has Breitling's Caliber B25. This watch has a 48-hour power reserve, which is a lot less than the other two that we've just looked at, but this is probably due to the extra functions that this watch is carrying. However, it also beats at 28,800 beats per hour and has 26 joules. Like the other watches, this piece also has 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal in front of the dial, and it also does not have a screw-down crown. This version is in stainless steel and what Breitling are calling a copper dial, but to me it looks more like a salmon dial. And the watch is also available in 18 karat red gold with a silver dial. Again, the watch features an alligator leather strap which measures 22mm and tapers down to 18mm. The Datora has the same dimensions as the duograph did, so it measures in 50mm in lug to lug, 42mm in case diameter, and has a thickness of 15.3mm. Usually I am not a huge fan of salmon dials, but this one I think is truly exquisite. The blue subdial and chronograph hands really pop against the salmon, and the moon phase and day and month windows I think are very tastefully executed. Of all the three watches and the 6 colour variants, I think the salmon Datora is my favourite. It's definitely my pick of these watches. I know the thickness is 15.3mm and it's very chunky, but in terms of the dial, I think it just really pops and I think it would really stand out on the wrist. In terms of pricing, there are no prices up yet on Breitling's website when I was looking at these watches, but if I was to take a guess, I would say that the stainless steel variants will probably come in at around 7,000–8,000 euro, and the gold versions, the 18 karat red gold versions, could come in at 30–40 grand and upwards, but again, this is just my guesses. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed looking at these watches with me. If you did, please do hit that subscribe button. It really would help out the channel a lot. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of these new watches from Breitling. I'm hoping to put out a lot of content this week. Obviously, it is a very busy week in the watch world with the Watches and Wonders Festival starting tomorrow. There are going to be a lot of companies releasing new models, and I hope to cover as much of it as I can. So until then, guys, take care, and I will speak to you again very soon.